I'm Bogdan Nahailo, Chief Editor of the Kyiv Post. Today I'm delighted to welcome into our studio the Chief Rabbi of Ukraine, Moshe Azman. Welcome, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Rabbi, you've become a legendary figure in Ukraine, not only in Kyiv. Partly there's a tragic side because of your involvement in supporting Ukraine. You've lost one of your sons, but you've just recorded in the last week or so a very powerful song, effectively calling on President Trump to support Ukraine. So with that preamble, let's start from the beginning. How did you end up in Ukraine? How long have you been here? And how long have you been the Chief Rabbi?
Thank you for the invitation. I was born in the Soviet Union, in Leningrad. Now it's Russia. And I lived there until 1987. I was a refugee. I wanted to, when I was young, wanted to leave the Soviet Union, and I left Soviet Union in 1987. We moved with my family into Israel. I lived there, but God had another plans. That's why in 1995 I came back. I came here. My wife from Kharkov, but I worked with the last time in beginning of 90s. I worked in the Chabad Chernobyl Children program. Yes, we evacuated. We helped children of Chernobyl area from Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. We took them to Israel and for the healing. And thousands of children we brought. And in that time, from 1993, I began to come here into Kyiv and in Ukraine and to collect children to bring them to Israel. And community here what was here.
Well, before we get to that, let me ask you a personal question. Yeah. You had left the Soviet Union, you say. You didn't feel comfortable there. There was persecution. Although the Soviet Union had collapsed, were you a bit afraid about coming back to independent Ukraine?
When I lived in Soviet Union, Leningrad, I was born in the same town that Putin was born. But he was KGB, and I was investigated by KGB because I didn't agree with the lie of Soviet Union, and I was young and was an activist in the movements of the Jewish movements and freedom and
like
religion.
Sharansky and
yes, but I didn't involve in politics. That's why they didn't put me into prison. I was in the religion. They didn't allow to be a religion. It's official. It was free. Yeah. It's in every big city was a synagogue and another religion places. But it's when a young guy come to religion or come to study Ivrit, it was not alone, and I was called to investigation to KGB a few times, and it wasn't nice to be there. But I said that I never expected to come back to Soviet Union because in that time it was Soviet Union. And after the perestroika, Ukraine they become to be an independent country, free religion, free freedom of speech, free country, democratic country. And then I came here back. I didn't expect what I saw. It's changed my mind because I remember Soviet Union. Is only the community become to restore again. I saw that they need me. They asked me to help them, and I came special. They invited me to help them to return Central Synagogue, the famous Brodsky Synagogue. That's a communist regime closed in 1926, and make the club for workers beginning after the theater, after the Papa Theater, and I tried. I saw that the Jewish community need me to help them in the spiritual and in other things. And I came here. First, I came not for a long time, but after this, and a few times, I come here many times. I understand that I have to bring my family and to live here. And
so what years?
1995. 1995 came here with my family.
And when did you become Chief Rabbi?
Chief Rabbi of Ukraine. I was elected by all communities Ukrainians. Was 2004. 05.
How many Jews were there roughly in Ukraine when you arrived, when you took over?
And then I arrived to Kyiv. It was here about 300,000 Jewish people. And now we don't know exactly, because many people was left in the beginning of this war and in 2022. And we evacuated a lot of people, women, children, and old men abroad to Europe, to Israel. And now we don't know exactly. I think it's half now.
So there were 300,000 in Ukraine.
Yeah.
What percentage do you think were still traditional believing Jews practicing their religious faith as opposed to secular Jews?
You know, all Jewish people in the Soviet Union they didn't allow, the Soviet government, they didn't allow to Jewish people, not only to Jewish people, to all people to keep their tradition, language. You know, the many Ukrainians seated in the prison that time, and Jewish people, and for their
faith, yeah.
Yeah, for the faith. And that's why they was disconnected from their roots, from their faith, from their religions, from their language. That's why our work, my work, was to reconnect them to their roots.
So today, how many practicing Jews are there that regularly attend synagogues, that observe the Shabbat, etc.?
You know, only in Kyiv we have 2 big synagogues and I don't know, maybe 5 small synagogues, and you know, in other cities, many cities have Dnipro, Odessa, Kharkiv, and Lvov have. We don't exactly numbers now. During the war, I cannot do it.
Yeah, there's been no census here since 1989.
Yes, many people serve in the army. Many people is refugees. Many people this war is changed the face of the Jewish community.
Right. Would you say, as someone actively involved in the community, but also observing to some extent, have we seen now finally the crystallization of a Ukrainian political nation, inclusive as opposed to with some exclusive elements?
I'll give you an example. For example, I myself, before the war, I was a very quiet man. I was involved in community. I gave lessons for Torah and was involved to help community. From beginning of this war, I became to be an only Jewish community rabbi. I became rabbi of Ukraine because I said in what I saw in the beginning of the war. I said, thank God that gave me opportunity to be in the right place in the right time. You know. It was a terrible time. It was a very dangerous time. It continued. But I was in a very dangerous situation, me and my family. But after this, I said, I can opportunity to help a lot of people to save them. I give you an example. In the beginning of war, I brought here from Israel about 500 bags of the paramedic bags. And I gave it to the army, to the people, to many places. But in that time, they didn't have nothing. And and after this, I received so many feedbacks, whether it's save lives, 1 life, 2, 10 lives, 100 lives. I'm so very happy that I did something that saved people's life. Yes. So that's why it's changed my life. Dear friends, I just come now with the sheriff, this special car to bring people here from all of the river and the Russian Oh, you see here.
You were involved right from the very beginning of the war in helping, and people haven't forgotten this. And more recently, you lost a member of your family at the front, and he was posthumously decorated just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, my beloved son, Matatiao, Anton, He was adopted son. We adopted him when he was 10 years old, and he lived in our family. He was quite good, very good guy. His mother was Jewish, and she passed away. We adopted him from orphanage, and he was mobilized to army in May 2024, and was killed in July 24. And only now we knew his wife and me. I was a few days ago. I was in they received from army special order
for bravery.
Yes,
a decoration for bravery.
And the officer from his battalion, I don't know how it's called, unit. And he had a speech and said, he was a hero, and said this. He said, and I was so proud because we didn't know the story. He was killed, and during 1 month they couldn't take him because he was in the battle area. And it's dangerous. That's the best young man killed in this war. That's why it's a terrible war. That's why it's evil.
Just to remind you, I'm speaking to the Chief Rabbi of Ukraine, Moshe Azman, our guest for Kyiv Post. What persuaded you to record a song right now? It's just out. People are talking about it, where you're urging Trump and the free will to fight for Ukraine, and not only for democracy.
In the name of light, Donald Trump, it's time to fight. In the name of light, in the name of light, Donald Trump, it's time to fight. In the name of light, in the name of light, Donald Trump, it's time to fight. In the name of light, in the name of light.
What persuaded you, a rabbi, to do that?
First of all, from the beginning of in the war, I find myself that I would like to sing, and it's not my first song. It's not a song. I think it's not song. It's my appeal. It's from heart to heart, and
So you like to sing not just in the synagogue?
Yeah. I sung. I have few songs, most of them in the Ukrainian language. I have a songs, and you can see in Anatevka TV. We have a canal. It's a Jewish settlement called Anatevka.
Can you just stop there, because for many in the outside world, Anatevka's Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes. In 2015, it was a miracle. I bought the land near the Kyiv city, in the same place that it's happened. The Fiddler on the Roof, and famous Jewish writer Sholem Aleichem wrote the novel The Tevya Milchaker, and after this, in the famous Broadway musical become The Fiddler on the Roof. In that place, I bought the land for the Jewish refugees from the beginning of the war, from Donetsk, Lugansk. Many general was refugees, but we built for Jewish refugees, and they live there. And I call it Anatevka because then I understood that it's the same Anatevka. I call it Anatevka, and it's all my good things we call Anatevka. For example, Anatevka Help Center. We have, for example, trucks for the bring humanitarian aid or ambulances for help people. It's called Anatevka Help Center. That's why I call Anatevka TV. And I have YouTube channel Anatevka TV. I put it there. I don't have my own channel, but I put there all my songs, and it's professional songs. My professional composers write me the songs. The last song it's I don't know. It's idea. The God gave me idea, to call to Donald Trump. It's. I know that's written in our holy books that the Dvarim Etzin and Alev Nichnasim Lalev in the Hebrew. The words that come from inside the heart, will come to another heart. That's why it's called from my heart. And I, with one young woman, she organized the music and text. And after what's happened in Kyiv last week, I said that I have to make immediately this published. I heard the explosions, and the next morning I was in the place what people killed by a Russian missile, and I saw how big damage, people wounded there. I spoke with people, I come by myself, and I decided now to do it because we make I have a very good all my command did it. I make a film, clip, and professional music we make, and it's,
thank you very much for doing this. I'm sure if Topol was around, he would be impressed by your singing qualities and your courage. But let's move on a little bit. Okay, the war is still continuing. You're doing your job. Where do you find the energy and the commitment to be so active?
First of all, from God, power, and I pray every day. I pray. I have study Torah. I study Torah, and I try to do a lot of good deeds. That's why not only me, I have a command, and I put it to my social media. Good deeds what we do. No for publicity. I don't need publicity. I only to show to people join us, do what you can do, and people abroad, please stand with Ukraine, help Ukraine, join us to be part of our mission. I don't say give donations. I said no, be join to our work, do something, do help people killed here, people wounded. Not only civilians, well, usually say civilians, only civilians. Not only civilians, the soldiers, the same civilians that yesterday was civilians, engineers, workers, and doctors, and now they
Sons of rabbis.
Yes, they didn't want to come to army.
How do you get on with the leaders of other religious communities, not just Christian, Catholic, and Orthodox, but say the Muslims here in this? Do you have a common language? A place, a council, a platform?
First of all, we have a very good community with communication with all the religions here. All the religions very, very friendly, lives in Ukraine. I know the Sheikh, I know the Christians, all directions, and you can see the example, very good example. Only a few weeks ago, when I invited the pastor Mark Burns.
This is Donald Trump's personal pastor. You invited him.
Yes, I met him a few times in America. We become friends, and he invited me to. I had a speech in the inauguration ball. He organized the multicultural inauguration ball. In the day of inauguration, I spoke about before 1,000 people there. And I invited him to come to America, to come to Ukraine to see. And he didn't know exactly what is Ukraine, but I said, come and see. And thank you. I thank him very much that he came here, and I was him 2 days from a beginning. And it was I didn't plan it from the beginning, but we planned I planned the mission from Bucha, Irpin, and after this we go to met with the representatives of all religions and wave of in Christians and Catholics, Orthodox, Protestant, all of these, and he heard from them what's happening in Ukraine. It's very powerful for him because they brought him the documents. They said the facts.
We hope you'll tell the Vice President Vance that this is not propaganda tourism being staged. Remember when Zelensky was meeting with the President of the United States, the Vice President, when they spoke about Irpin and Bucha, told him, "Oh, that's just for tourists. It's political tourism."
I can say that if I have an opportunity to meet with Vice President Vance or President Trump, I can say that I can be a witness. I am a witness because I was, first of all, in the beginning of the war, I was very close in Anatevka. It's very close to Bucha, Irpin. I have our Jewish orphanage in Irpin. I had, because we evacuated them under fire in the first Shabbat. And they evacuated by themselves. It was a miracle, and it's another story. But I was in Bucha, Ukraine the first day after the Ukrainian army liberated Bucha, Ukraine. I came from with the soldiers, with the journalists. I saw by my eyes what happened there. It was no, you know. That's why I can.
You're a witness.
Yeah,
You're a genuine
but the
witness.
best thing to do what Pastor did, to come here to see by their eyes, and you don't need to explain. It's they see it.
Your mission now, as you see it, religious, public, what are the goals that you set for yourself?
During the war, first of all, my mission is, from beginning of the war, I didn't, for example, I didn't love to give interview. I was a quiet man. I didn't give interview, but from beginning of the war, I saw so important to bring the truth for the world. Why I agree to come to you or to to give interview? I don't have time. I don't love it, but I see it's so important to bring to the world truth from beginning of the war, because in the beginning they said that no, they come to denazificate Ukraine and said why you didn't ask me, no Jewish, no Russians, nobody, no Ukrainians didn't ask you to come to denazificate. And second of all, to Ukrainian people, so they said they don't need this message to bring the truth because they know the truth. They need the message, good message, will be okay, good future, and light will dispel a lot of darkness, and the truth will win. And it's two different messages. That's why, and I saw how people need it, and I take from maybe half of my time to bring the it's not work in social media. It's my obligation to bring the truth. It's so spiritual work. Okay. Because I have a material work to bring humanitarian aid with people they need. And second of all, as rabbi, I don't have a lot of time to study Torah, but it's written in Torah. The King David said sometimes it's time that we can put Torah, because we need to see the people died, killed, and you need the help. I'm here. I have to help to save people.
Rabbi, finally, your record speaks for itself. The way you've helped people, the example you've set, the moral courage that you've shown. What would you say is your message to the outside world, Jews, and to the broader world, particularly in North America, but Europe, maybe in Israel?
First of all, I think I said that, they have access, evil of access countries. It looks like Iran, North Korea, Russia, Syria, that's not. We don't know. Hamas, Hezbollah is just small of Iran, but they together, all evil. They would like to kill, to destroy, and all people, please, continue to stand, support Ukraine. Come here to see by your eyes, and here lives beautiful people that every day under the attack, drones attack, missiles attack, and I see it. I'm here. I see it. I try to help them, and I think that all good people have to bring to do all they can to help Ukraine, to save Ukraine, and to bring the real peace to Ukraine. And that's why I said in my last song to Donald Trump, we have to fight in the name of light. That light, a little light, will dispel a lot of darkness.
Reminds me of Leonard Cohen when he sang, "That's how the light gets in. There is a crack in everything." Remember that famous song of his? Thank you very much. I'm very pleased that you've been able to share your thoughts, reflections, memories with us. I've been speaking to the Chief Rabbi of Ukraine, Moshe Azman. Kyiv Post, thank you for listening, and we're looking forward to inviting another very interesting guest for you in the coming weeks.